Hi there, my name is Justin Jin, and this is my video walkthrough of my full stack assessment for my TurboVets application. So first, I'll talk about the login and authentication, since that's the entry point to our application, and also the most important part of this project. Then I'll showcase the task dashboard, and the features I've implemented. Um, so I'll just quickly summarize the implementation and then show the inner workings by inspecting some of the HTTP requests and some of the code snippets. So the initial users are seeded into the database, and the passwords are stored as a one-way hash. Upon login, the server issues a signed JSON Web Token, and that token is set as an HTTP-only cookie named JID for browser sessions. And the front end only keeps a minimal user object in the memory, so that in this way, we never store the token in local storage or session storage. So when I submit sign-in here, the front end calls post at the auth/login endpoint with credentials so the browser can accept cookies. And the server then validates the password by comparing the supply password to the store hash using bcrypt. And after a successful validation, the server then signs a JWT containing the user's ID, email, role, or organization, and sets it into an HTTP only cookie response, uh, which, as you can see, is right here. Um, as mentioned before, this returns only the basic user profile in the response. No token is actually returned to the JavaScript runtime. And we use this structure because HTTP only cookies can reduce our risk of being exposed to cross-site scripting attacks by avoiding persistent token storage. However, the trade-off is that automatically sending the cookie could expose us to cross-site request forgery attacks. Um, However, we can minimize this by using the same site attribute, which we set same site equals lax here. Um, Optionally, and for future considerations, we can also send another CSRF token in the header and include a middleware for verifying the origins for additional security. And next, let's talk about the guards. For the guards, I'm going to show the code snippets. Okay. Um, So for the guards, we use app guard to set JWT guard as a global guard, so that all routes are protected by default, and controllers can opt out with the public decorator. Um, the JWT auth guard, the JWT auth guard is responsible for validating incoming requests for having a valid JWT. And for attaching the authenticated identity to the requesting user. Um, it leverages Passport's JWT strategy under the hood, which extracts the token from the cookie and verifies the signature and the claims. So now going back, notice on app load, we also call get auth/me. This is a protected endpoint by the JWT auth guard, and it validates the cookie. And so this way the UI can check the existing session cookie and avoiding multiple login requests. So now that we're authenticated, let's talk about role-based access control and the role guards. So going back to the snippets, the role guards are implemented here. Um, so the guards read role metadata added by the decorator and returns true if the user's role rank is higher or equal to the required rank. For the endpoints that operates the tasks, at least viewer privileges are required. And for the auto log endpoint, it requires admin plus privileges. And the front end also supports this by hiding the auto log redirect button, which would have been right here, as you will see, when the user has insufficient roles. So now let's look at the access to the tasks themselves. And before that, I just want to quickly show our database diagram real quick as a refresher. Uh, you can also find the detailed schema descriptions in the README file. Okay, now let's look at the access control for the tasks themselves. So currently, get tasks only shows the tasks in the current user's organization and under the current user's role. And task creation is the same way. The current user can only add tasks for their own role rather than for lesser roles as well. Um, but this is more of a front-end design choice on what to show, since the description for the task features weren't very specific. The backend is designed with this in mind, though, and it will be fully capable and very straightforward to also support lesser roles under the current architecture. And also see that all the tasks in the current org's role are listed, including other people's. You can only edit, delete, or update status if granted the permissions. Um, you can see as indicated by graying it out on the UI, I have no access to this one. I cannot update status. Um, the users with editing rights can supply emails to grant other users permissions and update the permission entity in the database. The backend and the DB supports different rights between users. We just keep it simple here on the front end. And that's pretty much the entire access control logic from logging in to operating on a task. Next, I want to show you some of the front-end features and navigating through the page as a user to show you the task creation, filtering, and editing, and the scoping that it all works as specified. So first of all, drag and drop status update works, and we also can organize them. And as you can see, we also have a little pie chart up here to show the distribution of the task status. Um, Next, we can create a new task. We can edit it, and we can delete it. And we can also supply a task with permission to allow other users to edit it. Uh, and we share this with viewer 2, who is in the same organization. And uh, next, let's log into viewer 2 to check it out. As you can see, viewer 2 sees the new task and is also updated the other task as well. So next, let's log into viewer 3. Viewer 3 is in a different organization. As we can see here, viewer 3 cannot see the tasks uh, from the other organization. And next, let's take a look at the admin accounts. Okay, so for the admin accounts, it's pretty much the same thing, except now we also have access to the audit logs. And as you can see here, we can see all the actions that we have just created with the viewer accounts. We also support dark mode toggling and task filtering. So here we can sort filter by work, filter by personal, it's nothing. And we can also search to filter. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for my video demo. Uh, Thank you for watching and thank you for your time and consideration.